guys, it is April from Getting Hogo With It. I'm here to do my December wrap up with you. I read a ton of amazing books in December, had a DNF, had a book I totally forgot to talk to you about from November. So it's all here. Let's get into it. So first of all, I wanted to say I'm sorry that I've been gone so long. Maybe people haven't noticed and that's totally fine. But I had a mega cold. I still have it. It's at the very tail end of it. So if I sound really strange, that's why. But oh my gosh, this cold has kicked my butt. It has kicked my butt. And so I had all sorts of videos planned and they will still all happen. They're just going to happen a little later. So obviously December wrap up, my January TBR, and then all of my best and worst of 2018. Like, we are moving into 2019 and I still haven't completely wrapped up 2018. So it's just life. Life happens and you have to roll with the punches. But yeah. Please be on the lookout. I'm going to be doing like worst of books and then going through some of the genres that I read a lot of, historical fiction, horror, thrillers, that kind of thing, and talking about all of those books, worst to best. And then I'll have my best of too. So anyway, that's not what we're here to do today. We are here to talk about what I read in December and what I thought of all of the books that I read. So first, we should probably get this one out of the way because I forgot a book in November. I knew when I was doing my November wrap up that I was missing something because it seemed like I had a worse reading month than I really had, because I forgot to mention that I had read The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. I gave this 4 stars. So I read The Silent Companions in November and really enjoyed this. This is very much gothic fiction. It is about a young woman who is very early widowed. Like she's just gotten married basically and her husband dies. And she moves to the home that they were supposed to live together at. And when she gets there, she finds these figures. Now, when I was reading like the back of this book, I thought they were going to be these tiny little figures. They're actually quite large. They're child-sized. And these figures move around. Their eyes move around and they move around. And it's really creepy. I really, really enjoyed this. I couldn't put it down. I was so happy that I liked it. I really want to go and read The Corset, which is the next book out by Laura Purcell. So yes, I highly recommend The Silent Companions. That seems like ages ago that I read that. And then I thought maybe we could do one of the books that I DNF'd. Sadly, A Winter's Promise. And I feel badly because I was sent this by Europa. I just could not get into this. I really tried. I think I gave it like 150 pages. I really tried to get into it. This is very much young adult fantasy, which would be okay, I think. I enjoy middle grade fantasy a lot. This was compared to Harry Potter. There was nothing like Harry Potter in this. I think I should just not listen to people when they say it's a lot like Harry Potter. I struggled with the tropes in here of, it's about a girl who is betrothed to a man of another world. So the world has been broken up into all of these different worlds and she lives in one world, and in her world their abilities are being able to do things like walking through mirrors and like touching things and being able to know the history of the person who owns it, which is super interesting. And at the very start of the book, it seemed super magical and I was excited. But as it went on, and she was moving to this new world with her future husband, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like him. You can tell, I could tell at least, that the point it was going to be, there's this like big brooding man that she was going to marry. She was going to hate him in the start, and then he was going to actually be a hero in the end. And I don't like that trope. I don't like that. I think it's not good for young girls to get the impression that men that are not nice to you, or guys that are not nice to you, are going to turn out great in the end. I think it's much better to go in with face value. So I just couldn't. So I DNF'd that, and I'm going to be passing that along to someone that I hope will like it more than I did. However, it did get better after that. I read Transcription by Kate Atkinson, which I thoroughly enjoyed. This wasn't as good as Life After Life, but I gave this 4 stars, and I was completely hooked. This is about a woman in World War II who gets hired on to become a spy, essentially. And it's not the most exciting spy work to begin with. She is typing a lot of people's conversations, and they are trying, as a unit, they're trying to get into the groups of people who have Nazi tendencies and Nazi sympathies, and they're trying to get as much information out of them as possible. And so she's part of that. We're following her also 10 years later, where she's working at the BBC, and all of her past start to come back to haunt her. And I really enjoyed this. Our main character isn't the most likable character. She's interesting, and there are bits of her that I really enjoyed. So you're intrigued to find out more about her, but she's not entirely likable. And I kind of liked that. I was definitely drawn in. There were some twists and turns in here that I did not see coming, which I loved. So I do really recommend Transcription. And then I also read Christmas Days, which is 12 stories and 12 feasts for 12 days. And this was by Jeanette Winterson. My first Jeanette Winterson, will not be my last, because 5 stars. I started reading this on December 1st up until December 12th. I know isn't the 12 days of Christmas supposed to be like after Christmas or something like that? I can't remember. I know that I was doing it all wrong, but I don't care. And we have, Barry and I have like our own 12 days because we got married on December 12th. And so we have a little, I have a little tradition that I do for Barry, so he's got something to open every day from December 1st to December 12th. And I didn't have an advent calendar this year, and so I was like, I think this is going to be my advent calendar. And it really was. It was just so wonderful, and it was there at a time when it was a very stressful November and December in my personal life, and this brought so much lightness to my life. And each story was amazing. There was one of the stories that was my favorite, honestly, was about this stray dog who got wrapped into a firecracker or a Christmas cracker. Oh, Christmas cracker, not a firecracker. That would have been all sorts of dangerous, and it would have ended badly. He got wrapped up into a Christmas cracker and sent to a children's party, and he has a little adventure, and it was just adorable, and some of them were so heartfelt. I definitely cried in some of them, and I want to own that book. I want to own it. It was so good. Another book that I read in December was The Hours. This was a book that I had chosen because I had bought this in December of 2017 and never got around to reading it, and I had always meant to. And so this was the book that I chose from all of those hauls. This was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, and this is very much a huge nod to Virginia Woolf. This follows Virginia Woolf, and it also follows a girl, It also follows a woman living in New York who's throwing a party for a friend. Very Mrs. Dalloway-esque, and I think the friend calls her Mrs. Dalloway. And then we also follow a woman in the 1950s who is not enjoying her life really at all. She lives in the suburbs with her husband and her child, and it's her husband's birthday, and she is creating a little party for him as well. And I want to say that I loved this, but I did not love this. And here's why. This is beautiful writing. This is for a lot of people. This is not for someone who doesn't love Virginia Woolf. And I don't. I love the concepts that Virginia Woolf had in her mind. I did love A Room of One's Own, but I don't love her writing style. And this is so much an ode to her that it just wasn't for me. I gave it 3 stars, but please, if you have ever enjoyed Virginia Woolf, like, go and read this, and don't take my word for anything. Like, avoid something that is so beautifully written. It's just very stream of consciousness. Nothing ever really seems to happen, which is very Virginia Woolf. It just, not for me, sadly. Another book that I thought I was going to adore and it was just okay for me is The Bear and the Nightingale. Ugh, I know a lot of people are going to dislike me for saying that because this is so beloved. This is a fantasy book about a girl who lives in Russia, and she strongly believes in the gods, and she is surrounded by these gods, and she can see them and she can talk to them. And after her mother dies, her father remarries a woman who was a very young woman who only believes in one god. And so all of the gods in their house and in their surroundings are kind of banished and ignored, and the whole town pays for it. I wanted to like this so much more than I did. I didn't feel like anything was really going on until the very end, maybe the last 50 pages. I was flipping, really enjoying it at the very last. And so I am thinking I might want to go ahead and continue the series, but this was just a 3-star read from me. It is well written. I will give Catherine Arden that. It's very beautifully written. I just wasn't blown away by the storyline. I also read The Sixth Extinction. This is nonfiction. I don't have it here, so I can't show it to you. This is nonfiction about the environment and about the fact that we are kind of in a sixth extinction. We are putting animals into extinction at a rate that we've never seen this before. There have been plenty of extinctions in the past, and they've all happened naturally. However, the way that we're treating the world is awful, and it's putting so many species at risk at such a fast pace that really not a lot of species are going to be able to adapt. Some will, but not all. And so it is the sixth extinction. I really enjoyed this. It was a little bit slow at times, I will say that, and very anecdotal at times. And I kind of was hoping to go in to more of a sciencey kind of book, and it was a sciencey kind of book, but it was about her experiences with each of each chapter showed her own experiences, and I kind of wanted each chapter to just dive into the science. I didn't really care about her. I just wanted to know what was going on. I just wanted the information. So I gave it 4 stars in the end, but I really did enjoy this. I thought it was really enlightening. I knew a lot about these things, but you know, you always learn another little tiny piece of the puzzle. So I really enjoyed The Sixth Extinction. And then the last one, ooh, I'm sorry to say, I did not like Blood Orange by Harriet Ticey. This is coming out in February, and I really wanted to love this, but I didn't. So this is about a lawyer who takes on her first murder case, and she is defending a woman who admits that she killed her husband by stabbing him multiple times. And as she gets to know this woman a bit more, she discovers that not everything is clear-cut. And in her own life, she has a lot going on. She has a wonderful husband and a wonderful child at home, but she is cheating on him with her law partner. And this was so much more about the lawyer than it was about the murder case. And that was very disappointing for me. I wanted it to be about the actual murder case. And so it ended up being so much more domestic thriller than I bargained for. Like, this is not what I was expecting. I did not enjoy this, and I gave it 2 stars, which I'm sorry to say. But if you do like domestic thrillers, like if you liked The Girl Before, something like that, I think you would like this. If you liked not The Couple Next Door, Behind Closed Doors, that's the one that I was trying to think of. You really might like this, so give it a go if you like domestic thrillers. I was really not hoping for that, but there you go. So those are all of the books that I read in December. It seems like more than I actually read. I think that because there was a DNF and a book from November in there, but I hope that you guys are doing well. What did you read in December that you loved? I feel like at the end there I got kind of negative, so let me know which book you loved reading in December, and I will chat with you soon, okay? Bye, guys. Oh, here's Libby. Hi, Choochie Hoochie! Oh, what are you doing? Do you want to slip on me? Do you want to slip on me? I'm just gonna look at all of the things that you've got here. Do you want to sleep on me? No, I do not. Oh, Mommy loves a poopy hoopy. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love you so much. You're such a good girl.